Let me tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
So and my ego really got out of hand, man. I mean, at Berkeley, I just thought I was, you have these people from all over the world going to Berkeley, and it was a big deal, Jaco Pastorius, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He was a bass player, and he ended up living at my place for 2 weeks. I met him at Berkeley, and he didn't have, while he was there, he didn't have a place. So he stayed with us for like 2 weeks. And, I got the biggest head. I mean, I thought, and I was a good guitar player, but I wasn't as good as I thought I was, those kind of people. Because anybody that came in, whatever they did, I could just do it faster and remember it quicker and do all that, right? So I thought, and this is where I peaked. And there was an afternoon where, as a guitar player, I completely peaked. And this is the best I ever was at this one time. Okay, and here's what happened. So they had these little rehearsal rooms at Berkeley, and you'd sit in there and practice, because we had an apartment, but some people were in the dorms, and you didn't want to go, that'd drive you nuts if you hear somebody playing guitar all the time, or whatever your instrument was. So they had these rehearsal rooms, just big rows of them, And up to this point, I was the big gun. I was the hot guitar player at Berkeley. I was the guy. And
you say Berkeley, but I think I got the wrong one, because you said Berkeley and you said Boston. So Berkeley.
Oh, Berkeley College of Music.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Not Berkeley. I'm so sorry. Not Berkeley, California. This is Berklee. Yeah, right, after Lee Burke. He's the guy that founded that. Okay, and a lot of people have gone there. Some of the most famous musicians in the world have gone there. And it's really, if you get in, man, it's real. Mark's one of Mark's kids is going to go.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, he's a drummer, so he's going to go there. He's going to love it.
Not surprised.
And so I was just thought I was just the best. And so I had my amp in my room, and I had this like a Randy Rhoads looking guitar. I got whatever the Randy Rhoads guitar was, I got that one. And I was playing a little too loud, but people would stand outside and go, and I was just like, yeah, you're like, cool, man, I'm bad. And because I knew they were standing out there trying to learn how to do these things I was already doing, which I was just ripping off from Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads and whoever else, because it's already been done. You're just copying it and adding to it, right?
Right.
So, and every now and then somebody knock on the door and come in, well, can you show me so-and-so? Yeah, sit down, I'll show you how to. So one time I was doing, and this is what I was thinking just before, I thought, man, I really got this together, this is going to be great. And as I peeked, there was a knock on the door. Right. And everybody has this little thing, the guitar players, and everybody that's a guitar player might be listening now. You have your own little piece that you play to impress the girls or whoever, my friends will come over, and you have this one piece that'll last maybe a minute. And it's like Eruption or one of those short little pieces that you do everything in, right? And I'd been working on this for, since I was in high school. I played this thing every day. I had it down, man. It was so good. It was beautiful, but it was like this rock thing. And it had all there's a guy named Stanley Jordan who was a different style of player, but he also played like the Eddie Van Halen thing like that. But he would play with all it. So I had some of that worked out because I'd met with him a couple of times. He's like, here's how you do this. This is building up. Believe me, it's going to pay off. So I'm in there thinking really cool. And there's a knock on the door, and this guy comes in. He's this tall, skinny guy with a lot of hair. And he says, hey, man. I said, I heard you playing out there. And I'm like, I had long hair and 2 earrings. Right. So I was like, yeah. And he goes, can you mind if I listen to you play it for me? And I said, yeah, sure, man. Sit down and see. And so he came in, and I've actually got the guitar sitting over here because I took it out of the case the other day to clean it. But let me show you this guitar real quick.
Yeah. Get it.
It's hilarious. It just happens to be sitting under the table there because I was cleaning it. So this is the guitar I was using. It's a Randy Rhoads.
Nice.
Charvel Jackson. So anyway, I played my piece there, right? And he goes, oh, that's really cool. He said, can I see your guitar? I said, yeah, man, I'll just play my guitar. This guy, hand to God, this guy played what I just played that I've been doing since I was in high school. He saw it one time and played it back to me better than I ever had, and had all this really cool stuff to it. And you see people when they see something blow up in their mouth or something, like, what the, and I had this look, I'm sure a look of horror on my face, and he flipped the guitar back here. I said, yeah, that's a nice guitar. And I was like, oh God. And I said, of course, who are you? He said, oh, my name's Steve. I'm Steve Vai. And if you don't know who Steve Vai is, he's like one of the top guitar players in the whole world, right? And the guy came in and just shamed me in front of me. Nobody watching, just me and him, and just stuck it up. And from that day on, I was like, oh, I said, I'm doing this wrong. And he goes, yeah, you're doing it wrong. I said, okay, how do you do it? He goes, just be yourself. Just be cool, man. you can play, just go do that. And I was like, okay. So from then on, that changed everything. That's when I started getting more studio gigs because I wasn't an actor anymore.
Right.
I wasn't so big head. I was like, because he completely shamed me in front of me, without embarrassing me in front of anybody. He embarrassed me in front of me because I guess he's seen that before, and that's all he had to do. And from that day forward.
What made him want to come in and do that?
Because I'm sure people are saying, there's that guy I've been telling you about that who does, who thinks he's the coolest guy in the world. Because I did too. I thought I was so cool, man, because I could do it all.
Do you think he did it out of wanting to shame you or wanting to teach you?
No, he wanted to teach me. He's a teacher.
Great guy.
So, I mean, he teaches people, but he didn't want to shame me, in front of me, or he would have left the door open and brought somebody with him as a witness, you know what I mean? And I'm sure he never thought I would go out and tell this story. He may not even remember it.
Yeah.
I've seen him a couple of times since then, and he gives me that thing that was like he remembers it, but I don't know if he does.
And how old were you when this happened?
In my early 20s. I was probably 19 or 20 when that happened.
And so did you recognize it at the moment that, wow, I now have humility?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because from that day forward, I was bummed out for like 3 days. I was like, I got to redo this whole thing. And every part of my life where I thought I was so cool, because everything was related to that. I got a haircut. I got rid of the earrings. I quit trying to be the cool guy. I really did. I was like, I can't do this. Is not working. This is not cool.
What wasn't cool about it? So that's interesting take you had on yourself, because you had mad skills, but for some reason you decided you were no longer it.
Okay, let's pretend. Let's take. We both know Joe Navarro. Let's say we're talking about Joe Navarro. What if Joe came in and was like, "I'll tell you what that guy's going to do next," or "This guy's guilty because." What if he had this really shitty attitude? Just like he's the coolest guy in the world, since he's the dang, the King Kong of behavior and body language.
Right.
What if he was like that? What if he was acting like, that's what it would be? I'm not saying I was that, but I'm saying I thought I was the King Kong of that. And I really wasn't. I was just a dumb little monkey that King Kong came in and went, sit down, stupid. Let me show you what you're doing wrong.